Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a little while since I put up a YouTube video, so I thought I'd better get off my ass and get something happening. I think the last time, it was the ride on the Postie Bike was the last video that I put up. Me and Charlie, we made it back alright. I think on the last video I was saying that it was starting to rain and it was going to be a bit hairy-fairy getting out of the place, but in actual fact the rain just settled everything down. It wasn't a lot of rain, and we got out of it real easy, so that was really good. I ended up coming down with a bloody cold, and it's taken me nearly a month to bloody get over it. Must be getting old. Alright, it's not going to be a short update. So I'll let you know what I've been doing and some of the stuff that I've got planned to do, or hopefully do at least anyway. You know what it's like. I say I'm going to do one thing and it ends up being something totally different. First of all, Naomi's Intruder. She's been very, very slack and hasn't been riding it. Apparently she's too busy doing her woodworking stuff. She's now got a real passion for, and she's bloody really good at it, building furniture and bits and pieces. At the moment she's building a double bed for one of her friend's daughters, and it's like they call it a captain's bed and has storage and stuff. But she's built her bloody our bed, all this other stuff, and so I can't begrudge someone following their passion. But anyway, I just ride this around the block every now and then just to keep everything all lubed up. Alright, so basically I won't talk about the DR just yet. I've made a few modifications. Since coming back on the Postie Bike, I've made a few modifications, and I'll show you what they are. So the first thing I did after coming back was, of course the bloody dog has to be barking while I'm bloody videoing. Books, give it a rest. One of the big bloody shit things that I had to do was with the fuel. I had it in a bag and I was trying to keep it down low, and then I had another bag up there, and I'd have to take everything off to then get the 10 litre bloody can out of it to fill the tank. I got it down to a system, but I thought, Jesus, it's just bloody silly. So what I've done is I've built this little rack, just out of that same stuff that I did all the other racks out of, and built this little thing, which now fits that in there, and then that just gets bloody clipped over, and that's in there solid. And the other thing I've learnt is that I've got to pack a whole lot lighter. I mean, I always take too much stuff. I'm hopeless, absolutely hopeless. But I've got to I've got to stop doing that. The other thing that I've done is with the panniers, both of them, I've actually put containers in there. So I'll show you. Basically what I've done is I grabbed two of these 10 litre jerry cans, and I've cut the top off it, put that in the bag, and then mounted that directly to the aluminium panniers, or pannier mounts. And what that does is it basically stops me from trying to stuff too much stuff in there, because then I can't really push all this stuff out. It keeps the bag, when there's nothing in there, it keeps the bags looking like what they do. These ones in here, they were, I used 5 litre jerry cans. I used jerry cans instead of some other plastic thing, purely because they're strong, and if this, if it was to topple over or whatever, it's not going to bust in a hurry. So I've done that. I suppose it's more for an aesthetic thing. I mean, I suppose you could call this a themed bike, a very low budget themed bike, but and it means that I can just ride around with this and not have all saggy bags and bits and pieces. And I found also that it was a real shit trying to get stuff out when it was all kind of jammed in and stuff, so doing it this way should make things a little bit easier. So anyway, there you go. Charlie's had a bit more of a modification, and I'm planning on doing an urban adventure
of types. There's a big creek that runs through Bendigo, and it's huge. It's all concreted and bluestoned and stuff like that. And there's a spot just up here at Golden Square where you can actually, they can drive obviously vehicles into there when they need to. And so what I'm going to try and do is ride Charlie down this storm drain creek bloody thing, and then and get it right through under Charing Cross, which is a big tunnelway right in the centre of Bendigo, and then come out the other end and see if I can get back out, and maybe some other bloody bits and pieces. So that's what I've got planned with Charlie. Also, Ken was supposed to be taking me up to a place up into the hills at Myrtleford, but he's up in Queensland. He works for Telstra, and he's up in Queensland because of all the rain that they've had there. They've had a lot of issues with phone lines and stuff like that. So he ended up going up there. So he's been up there all month, I think, and he comes back in June. So we might still get a chance to do that. If not, I might just take this up to. Someone mentioned Melville Caves. Might take it up there and do a bit of hill climbing or something like that with it. All right, okay. So that's Charlie done. Actually, that's the tops of the jerry cans taken off. There you go. That was the other thing I wanted to mention too. With that ride that I did with Charlie, which was the Scrap Heap adventure ride, which was raising funds for Down Syndrome New South Wales. The last time I looked, it was actually the fundraising was actually over $46,000. So that was a bloody great effort by everybody that did that. Yeah, super. Now these two poor, I shouldn't say poor little bloody Postie bikes. This Pasty Bike here, which is the old 6-volt, I think 89 model, Brody and some of the other local boys, they've had an absolute blast on this. They've taken it out and doing skids. They've even bloody done some video footage themselves of doing big bloody skids and jumps and stuff. So they're not poor. I don't know what I'm doing with these at this stage. Yeah, 101 different ideas of what I can do. I mean, I've got so much on it to go at the moment. I'm getting pulled in every different bloody direction. But I will do something with them. What? I don't know. One thing I want to try though, because I've seen it mentioned something about the Postie Bikes, and yeah, they always say, you know, a Postie Bike is only so much, it's only really cheap, and yeah, you can go and buy a BMW and pay bloody $20,000 and whatever. And there was one thing I seen, I don't know whether it's Going Postal or the guy that went around the world on a Postie Bike or something, but he said something about with a Postie Bike you can carry another Postie Bike on it, and try and do that with a BMW. So I haven't actually seen a picture or video footage of it, so I reckon I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see if I can get that bike on top of that bike, and I don't know, go for a ride up and down the road here and see if I can do it. I'm sure you can. I mean, you look at some of those other countries where they've got bloody goats and, you know, the whole family on a motorbike and stuff like that, but I want to give it a shot. So that's most probably all I've got planned at this stage for that, and then we'll see what happens after that. Plenty of time to do stuff. Now, as most of you guys know, I tried to do a very stupid thing and take Harry across Australia from east to west, going through the deserts. Not exactly a smart thing, given that it's a cruiser, it's not designed to do that. I was a very inexperienced rider in sand or loose stuff, and but that's me. I mean, I just do crazy stuff. I just think, I can do this, no worries. Well, Mother Nature said, I don't think so. I don't think so, Mark. You're going down, and you're going down twice. So, wrecked myself, and I wrecked the bike. Not overly bad, obviously, as you guys would have seen. So anyway, I didn't make it. I got to Cameron's Corner, and and put me tail between me leg and twaddled home. Ever since that's happened, I lost my confidence in the sand. So I've been trying to, and you'll see some, obviously you've seen some of the other videos where I'm trying to get my confidence back in the sand. Getting the Postie Bike and taking it up to on the scrap heap challenge was another way of trying to bloody learn how to do it and get over that fear of it. I think what I've found is that the majority of sand riding, or most things I suppose, is confidence. You've got to have the confidence to be able to do it. That's a lot of it, and obviously then there's skill and just, you know, practice at it, and your muscles and your body just begins to know how to do it. Anyway, after doing the postie, coming back, you know, I felt a lot better in it, but I still wasn't right. You know, I'd get the squirms and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, some of the guys there was just said that the Postie Bike, because it has such, even though it had the knobbies on it and the wheels are really thin, and because I had it so packed up, because I'm an idiot, full of weight, you know, it wasn't helping my confidence. So I've now bought the DR. Well, I'm not going to talk about the DR just yet, because I'm very excited about the DR. So in all this time, you know, since I failed doing the, you know, I don't mind failing. I mean, that's all part of it, I suppose. I want to get Harry back across. I want to get it from east to west, going through the centre, all that sand. That's my ultimate goal. Now, I can't do that unless I learn how to ride the proper bike in those conditions. Only then, once I've mastered that, can I then go, alright, let's take the inappropriate bike and give it a whirl. Otherwise, Mother Nature's going to whip me on my ass again. Most probably still will, but anyway. It'll be fun to watch, I suppose, for you guys. Alright, so that's the end goal, is getting Harry across. It may not be, you know, it might be 2 years before I attempt it. We'll just see how I go now that I've got the DR. Alright guys, onto the DR. Actually guys, sorry, before I get on to the DR, not only do I have to you know, get myself right to riding those conditions on something like this, I've got to also modify Harry. When I did it, you know, I had all my bits and pieces were on there. I had it again, you know, way loaded up, way too much. I mean, you can see it in the photos and the video, the shit that I was carrying on it. You know, and I mean, Harry did a bloody marvellous job, you know, on all the dirt and the gravel and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as you hit the sand, that was, yeah, it was just game over. Part of getting across will be, you know, taking off the windscreen. I don't need the windscreen. It's quite a lot of bloody, you know, all the metal bits and all that. That's a lot of weight sitting on there. Getting rid of that. Things like passenger boards, maybe even the seat and the rack and all that kind of stuff. Might be some stuff that I can take off it. Might lose that. That surprisingly there has quite a lot of weight in it. But so I'm just going to have to, you know, do trial and error and just work out how much weight I can get off the bike. And then the other thing will be packing really, really light, so that this big monster of a bloody bike, you know, has a bloody chance. All right, now we get on to the DR. Sorry guys, before we get to the DR, I've got one last thing to show you. Now promise you don't laugh. This is not normal wear for me. Okay, are you ready? Alright. Here's the story. Before I got the DR, and this whole thing of me trying to get over the fear of the sand and trying to get that confidence, I thought, well, why not? I need to get maybe some bloody body armour. It'll make me feel a bit better with the falling off and hurting myself. So I went down to Elliott Brothers, which is the local, I think they do Honda, Kawasaki, a few other stuff. But yeah, Elliott Brothers motorcycles here in Bendigo. And I went in there and just said, hey, look, I need to get some armour, and this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done, and what's happened, and all that kind of stuff. And I actually happened to get Clinton, the boss, and he said, look, he went through the whole thing trying to work out, what I needed and where I was going and all that kind of stuff, and tried this on, and yeah, it fitted really good and whatever. And I'm just bloody jumping around, bloody unfit bastard. Yeah, so he said, look, because of what you've done and what you're trying to do and all that kind of stuff, look, wait till the rep comes in and I'll see if I can, knock some money off the price of it. And I said, oh yeah, no worries. And I think I went back there a week later and the rep hadn't been, and he said, oh, wait and whatever. And I said, I said to him, look, I'm happy to pay full price for it. Yeah, not a problem. That's what I was going to do. Anyway, so I went back a week again. It was funny in the car. I was saying to Nay, I said, I'll get there and he'll only take bloody $10 off it, and made me wait all this time. And lo and behold, me and Nay, we were bloody lost for words. I rocked up there and he bloody showed me the gear and said, yeah, we've got it all and no worries. And I said, yeah, how much? And he said, no, they're yours. And they were bloody for free. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was absolutely, me and Nay were just lost for words. We walked out of there and we're dumbfounded. I mean, it's nearly $400 worth of gear, and he's given it to me for nothing. So there you go, crazy. So a big shout out to Clinton and the guys at Elliott Brothers. Thanks, guys. It will certainly go a long way to getting my confidence and hopefully do a bit more good out there. All right, guys. Hey, let's put it to the test. Oh yeah. Oh Jesus, dog, what's going on?
Alright guys, Jesus, talk out folks. Alright guys, now I promise you, we're going in there and we're going to talk about the DR. Alright. Alright guys, well here it is. This is the DR, the DR650 SE. It's a 2009 model. I got it from up at Chuka, which is, I don't know, about an hour away from here. A bloke was moving back to WA, and he was selling it. He was using it for I think just going around checking crops and stuff like that. So it had 1,600 kilometres on it. It's a 2009, and I got it for $5,350, which I think's bloody really good deal. It came with road tyres, which are in there, and it also came with an aftermarket pipe, which was on there, but I've had to I put the stock one back on just to get the roadworthies, just so I didn't have any problems with that. Yeah, it's already got its name. It's called Max. It's just mad, I reckon. Bloody crazy. For me, I mean, I've only ever ridden around on 250s in this style of bike. Obviously Harry's an 800, but there's a whole lot of weight. It's a whole different setup. But yeah, jumped on this thing and my bloody God, it just fucking took off. It's absolutely love this bike. Yeah, I mean, for some guys out there on KTMs and all that bloody stuff, I mean, it's most probably just a sedate bike, but for me it's like a rocket on bloody wheels. So I'm really happy with it. Everybody says that the DR, it's a rock solid bike, and it'll just bloody keep going, a bit like the Postie, I suppose. So the Postie is the poor man's adventure bike. This one is, I don't know, the average man's adventure bike. It's a cheap bike to buy.
has a pretty big following, so there's lots of modifications and parts and bits and pieces that you can buy for it and add it on. So you know, the Postie was done, and I did it really cheap, trying to build and use all just cheap stuff to build that up. With the DR, I've gone, bugger it, I'm just going to buy all the good bits and pieces and fully kit it out, and then yeah, go from there. So I've actually in there I've got a whole heap of stuff. There's another 2 lots of stuff that come today, so I'm pretty bloody excited. I think I've spent so far just on all the parts and bits and pieces about, I'd have to be close to $1,400. So even $1,400 with all the stuff that I've got plus that, I mean, it's still a cheap bike. And the bits and pieces that I've got, which I'll show you, means that, you know, I'm going to be able to go anywhere, and you know, 600 kilometres at a time without having to do a fuel top up. Alright, so I'll take you in, give you a quick squiz of all the bits and pieces that I've got. Obviously I'm going to do a whole series of videos with all the stuff that I'm putting on, taking it out, just learning my way around the bike, and all that kind of stuff. Alright, let's go and have a look at all the goodies. Okay guys, so this is all my goodies that have come. As you can see, I've got my big box of DR650 goodies. I'll show you the there's two road tyres that came with the bike, so I thought that was pretty bloody cool. But I must say, I do like those big knobbies on there. Oh geez, where to bloody start? I've got Wolfman pannier bags, waterproof, and of course there's also the rack mounting system. I'll just mount on the side. Apparently these also give the subframe a bit more strengthening as well. So that'll hold those saddlebags off, the exhaust and whatever. This is the aftermarket exhaust pipe that came with the bike. I'll just give it a bit of a polish up. I don't know, there's no branding, it's really weird, there's no branding on it whatsoever. I don't know if that's like all that weld stuff on it, whether that's how they do it in the shop, or whether she's a custom job, or what the deal is, but I can tell you, there certainly is a big difference between the stock pipe and this pipe. With this pipe on, really makes that bike a whole lot more responsive. It makes it get up and go, and it's got a really cool sound to it as well. Alright. Screen for the bike, and that's by Screens for Bikes. So that's actually made here in Australia. So that's going to be going on. An oil filter. I've already actually, when I got the bike, I drained the oil out of it, put in oil, and I've been running on that, and then I'm going to dump all that and then redo it again. I don't know, that's the way I do it. I think try and keep the engine oil as best as possible. Okay, B&B off-road bash plate. So that's going to protect the undercarriage. What I've got to do though, I think, I've been doing a lot of research and stuff just on the net, and a lot of people said when they put this on they get a lot of engine noise. So obviously the engine sits in here and it then echoes off there up to you. So they've said about putting in foam, which will absorb that noise and not bounce it back up. And it's funny actually, because on the Boulevard, on the plastic, there's only got a plastic tray underneath it, it's got foam in it. I always thought to myself, what the bloody hell do you want foam in there? It just seemed really silly, but obviously there is method to their madness, and it's basically to
to suppress the engine noise bouncing back up to you. So bash plate, B&B, and that's actually made here in Australia, and it's actually made in Ballarat, which is about 2 hours away from here. Also, oh, and the other thing means it's all aluminium, so it's just super light. That's the back guard, so that'll sit over the back guard. So you can have that just like that. And tie stuff down to it. Again, that's bloody just super light. But what they also have is a luggage rack, which will fit somewhere, how? Like that, there you go. That fits on there, so it'll give you a wider space and a bit more tie downs and stuff like that. And again, yeah, super light. So that's B&B off-road. By now you'll already be seeing the prices of all these parts popping up. I'll obviously do that. As you can see, that's happening right now. Alright. No, I'm not getting like that. Another thing that came with the bike is the original front sprocket. That's a 15th tooth sprocket, and I think he got a 14 sprocket put on there. Apparently the gearing is pretty, I don't know, is it high or low? It's high or low, one or the other. So that when he was in first just around town, it just seemed like it was, you know, blah 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 type of stuff. So he's put the 14 on it. May put the 15 on it when I'm going to go doing a big, you know, those big long roads out in the middle of bloody nowhere. But we'll just see how it goes. I know coming back from Echuca, you know, before I knew it, I'd be doing 120 and I'd be looking at everyone and going, holy shit, slow down. So we'll see with that. Right, they're all parts and bits and pieces for all this stuff. And how's this? Look at that baby. That's a safari tank. That's made here in Australia as well. I think it's, where is it? I don't know. I'll put it up on the screen. But it's here in Victoria they make this. So that's a 30 litre tank. So that'll get me, they say it should get a DR. You should be able to get 600 Ks worth of petrol out of that. And I think, you know, anywhere in Australia, I mean obviously it depends on which way you're going, but you can always bank on getting somewhere the best way. You know, 350 K is all you should need. So that'll be really good. You don't have to worry about strapping on bloody things on the back and horn bits and pieces and all that. So, and like I said, I wanted to go all out on doing the DR. Sorry. Alright, that's it. I think that's all I've got to tell you. So the next videos will just pop out as I do them. It might be doing the Postie Bike bloody thing. It might be, you know, adding the safari tank. I want to try and video all the stuff, putting it on there, because I know a lot of people enjoy doing it, and I always get on YouTube, and you know, if I want to know how to do something, that's the first place I go, and you know, watch someone do it. So it's really helpful. I know as the stuff was turning up, now he's going, oh come on, let's do it, let's get it on there. I want to see what it looks like. And I'm saying, yeah, I know, but I've got to bloody do the video. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Alright guys, hope you've enjoyed that. And oh, that's the other thing I got to tell you. A lot of you guys on YouTube, that only get to see the YouTube stuff. I'm on Facebook. And look, anybody is welcome to friend me on Facebook or do that follow thing or whatever it is. I don't care. It's mainly, I only use Facebook really for doing all the motorbike stuff anyway. So and why I say that, I suppose, is that on Facebook you'll get a bit more updates of things that I do along the way instead of waiting for another video. And yeah, anyway, there you go. So you're quite welcome to jump on Facebook. I'll put the link there. Alright guys, see you in the next video, and remember, keep on riding.